Welcome to Main Street Living. I'm Cheryl Nelson.
Hey there, I'm Quincy Carr.
And I'm Danielle Alvari.
How are you guys today? Lots to talk about, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, doing great. I just wanted y'all to know I voted early already. I don't know if y'all can see
check
that.
you
That's
out.
sticker.
Look at you, Quincy.
Yes. Get out there and vote. The lines are the lines are long in some places, but
Sure. Bring a snack.
That's what I wanted to do.
So Quincy, here's a question
Light
though.
layers.
How do you know when your local voting center is open? I mean, are they open every day leading up to the election?
I'll be honest, I don't know. I just follow when my wife say, let's go vote. Yeah, but I want to know because also I think this week the iPhone 12 drops. So I wonder how many people are voting which one they like better, the 12 or the 11. I have the 11 Pro, all right?
That's the 11.
Okay.
Yeah. Which one do you have, Danielle?
I think it's a 10.
Okay. Danielle,
What,
do you have the
It's
fingerprint?
an iPhone. It's an iPhone, but it's like an XR or something. And I don't know. I got swindled. I feel like I got swindled because the guy at the store was like, I just need a new phone. And I was switching back to an iPhone after having a Galaxy. So I was getting my first iPhone in a couple years. And I said, which one? And he's like, oh, get this one. I was like, he was just trying to push that one on me. They weren't selling them or something because it has been terrible. So I need an upgrade.
But Danielle, does it have the fingerprint or do you have to use the Face ID?
It's Face ID.
Oh, I hate Face ID now that we have to wear masks all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if the iPhone 12 has the thumbprint or do you have to do Face ID still? Because I don't know if they
it's definitely going to be Face ID because they got rid of the thumbprint after the 8. Okay, so here's the cool thing about the iPhone 12. They have 4 versions that's coming out, four models. All right, so they got the regular iPhone 12, they got the iPhone 12 Pro, which is a 6.1 inch, and they got the iPhone 12 Pro Max, which is 6.7 inches. But check this out. They have an iPhone 12 mini. Are you kidding me? So they're going big, and now you can
good though. I like the mini. The mini is
Do you
so much
remember
better.
how small phones used to be? Like they got small.
But guys, does anybody else get thumb fatigue from texting all the time? Because I've actually had to go to my chiropractor for ultrasound on this muscle right here from too much of this. So I like the smaller phones because the big phones, I've got to stretch my fingers too much. And I get the phone fatigue. It's a thing.
You need a Cheryl size phone, a fun size phone.
Yeah, well, some people, I mean, they have phones as big as Danielle's TV back there. I think that's just way too big. That's a tablet that you're walking around with, right? So
I like to watch TV on my phone though. Like when I'm doing my makeup in the morning, I put SpongeBob on or whatever, and I time everything to it. I do because one episode of SpongeBob is like 12 minutes. Do the makeup in 12 minutes. Next episode starts. You have 12 minutes to do your hair. You're out the door in 30 minutes. So it works. But yes, I watch TV on my phone.
Yeah, it's a good way to time yourself there. But guys, I'm curious. Going back to the Face ID thing, when you're wearing a mask out in public, doesn't it annoy you that it doesn't recognize you with the mask?
I'll be honest.
You always have to do the code.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I haven't even activated the face recognition thing because I just rather do it the old school way, slide my thumb up and punch in the code. Because that's one of the reasons, like, I don't want to be doing this.
Yeah. It's a pain. It's a pain to do that.
And if somebody's looking at you from far away and all they see is,
they know what you're doing.
No, they don't. They think you're freaking out.
No, either that or they think you're really vain and you're looking at your reflection trying to see
Quincy, you got the 11 then though? You didn't go with the 12.
No, I got the 11 like this summer. See, my choices were the 10 or to the 11, but the price difference was $3 more a month for the 11. So I said, well, let me just get the 11. But I don't run out to get the latest stuff. I wait until it's almost over, So.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting to see how the 12 does. I bet you though, the round after this, they're going to bring that thumbprint back. You watch. You watch. It's coming back, guys. I said it right here. Speaking of right here, don't go anywhere because we've got a lot more coming up on Main Street Living, guys. I'm getting into the Halloween spirit. And if you've ever wondered about voodoo, we've got a story for you. It's going to tell you everything you need to know.
Yeah. And if that story sends you running, you might want to check out this app.
Yeah. And we're also talking with the food bank who's giving back to the community.
But first, we do have to go to break. And when we get back, we have a tea time with a brand new golf show. So stick with us.
Welcome back to Main Street Living. Ladies, I have to be completely transparent. Like, I am horrible at swinging anything, baseball, golf clubs, dancing. I can't, and I feel ashamed about it.
No, don't feel ashamed. It's okay. I've tried golf and I'm not good. I have that softball swing and that doesn't work too well with golf.
Yeah, well, luckily golf has been one of those things that is an activity we can actually do outdoors and have been able to do in the last couple of months. So here to talk to us today about a new show, Golf AZ, we have the host, Kate Longworth. Kate, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks. I'm excited to be here and talk about the show. And I want to reassure everyone, it doesn't have to look pretty with your swing. You just want to get out there, get outside, have fun. And it can be at a social event too. I'll talk more about that with the show. But there's a lot that Golf AZ has to offer because when it comes to a golf course, there's more than just the game.
For sure. Yeah, I used to work at a golf course for a couple of years. So you would think I would be better at swinging, but it's still not very pretty. So so I definitely know where you're coming from. Tell me, how did Golf AZ get started?
Let's go back to how it all began with the producers. Lawrence and Deborah Patrick, they were the producers of the reality show Last Home Standing. And when that wrapped up, they decided to take their producing talents out to the links. And so Golf AZ was born as a show to feature the different golf courses throughout Arizona. Right now, it is exclusive to some of these desert courses, but it has the potential to go national because, as you know, there's some beautiful courses throughout the nation. And basically, it just gives viewers a chance to see courses that they've perhaps heard about up close and personal. And we also give them a chance to see what else, like I mentioned, the courses have to offer, from deals at the pro shop, you know, the ins and outs of certain signature holes. And of course, we also feature those 19th holes as well.
Of course. And so you mentioned it's kind of sticking to the desert areas. What made Arizona a good place to start this show?
I mean, if you've ever flown into Arizona and looked out the plane window, all you see is vast green, which sounds funny because you're flying to a desert, but there are so many golf courses throughout the Southwest region. And really, we wanted to go out there and showcase. And what's so great, because there are so many, the resorts, the courses, the clubs, they've really upped their game to try and compete with each other. They want to draw that crowd out there. So there's a lot of specialty items at each of these courses. Like I mentioned, there's some special deals. You'll see unique things on each hole. They really go out there and try to preserve that desert landscape, but also give you a really manicured course. And then I think too, the weather. We can pretty much be outside here 365 days a year. I mean, yeah, you might want to have an earlier tee time during the summer, extra layer in the winter, but you can be out there. And I think really right now, you know, when the world just stopped, as you mentioned, golf kept going, and it provides you that outlet to get outside, to get in the sunshine, kind of let those worries go. Because as you know, if you've been out on a golf course, you can't think of anything else because it is challenging. So you have to focus on your game, and you can also safely social distance out there. So I really think it's just a great time to launch a show like this.
For sure. And I definitely know what you mean when you don't want to be out there at a later tee time. But I think you might have already answered this, but just tell us a little bit why you wanted to be involved in this show specifically.
Well, I've made a career of covering sports, but first and foremost, I'm a sports fan myself. So this is really just a natural fit. And I grew up in Arizona. I got my first job in television covering sports in Palm Springs, California. So I have seen a lot of golf courses, from private courses to public courses to some of the biggest courses that are out on the tour. I've covered the LPGA, PGA events. I've interviewed the likes of the Tiger Woods, Phil Mickelson, Michelle Wie. But I've also got to talk to a lot of golf pros to get tips to your game. And I've met a lot of people who work at golf courses. There are so many different activities out at a golf course. So I've met a lot of people. And one thing I really love is I've covered some pro-ams. And so you're seeing some of the biggest names in Hollywood. They can star on the big screen, but then they get out on the links. And let me tell you, they are humbled, which makes it just a lot of fun because I think really anyone can go out there. And I think Golf AZ kind of just wakes you up to there's more than just a golf game.
Absolutely. Well, Kate, so can you give us real quick before we run out of time, a quick sneak peek of what we might see in the first episode? What course did we do?
We head to Troon North Golf Club, and it is amazing. It's in the shadows of Pinnacle Peak, and so you're going to see this desert landscape, and we're talking real hazards out there because you had to avoid cacti. Some great holes out there to explore. We'll kind of give you some tips on how to navigate the course, but we also stop by the pro shop, and they really just step up their game to make it an experience. You can throw an event out there, have eat and dine, so it'll be a fun one for sure.
It's a full experience. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Kate. We really appreciate it. If you don't live in Arizona, you can check out YouTube. Just search Golf AZ, and you can check out more with Kate. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you. I'll see you out on the links.
Yeah.
We should give that a try.
What do you guys think?
Yeah, let's do it. Quincy's ready. All right, guys, we're going to switch gears a little bit here. There's never been a better time to give back to the community than right now during this pandemic. And coming up, we're going to share one organization's story next.
Welcome back to Main Street Living. We missed you on that last break, so thank you for coming back. I'm really excited about our next segment here, guys, because something I love to do when I'm maybe not feeling my best is helping others and focusing on others instead of myself.
Oh, Danielle, it's so true. I mean, with so many people out of work due to COVID, there are plenty of things to worry about. However, in San Diego, some folks are working to make sure that food is not a concern for those in need. Joining us now from the Jacobs Cushman San Diego Food Bank is President and CEO James Floros. Thank you so much for joining us today on Main Street Living. Good to see you.
Thanks very much. Appreciate it.
And we're all talking about that mustache too. We think that's a big hit, so you definitely got it going on right there.
My friends call me the stash, so you're inner circle now.
Right. We love that. And you're doing so much good work for the community. And I know normally you're busy around the holidays with food drives, but this year obviously is very different. Tell us about the need that's going on right now.
Well, our motto is, you cannot make this stuff up. Being a local organization, it's kind of in our DNA to be adaptive and be able to pivot and adapt and overcome. And we did that. We went from feeding 350,000 people a month to nearly 600,000 people almost overnight. Prior to COVID, we estimated about 1 in 7 people. That's about 450,000 people in San Diego County were termed food insecure. That number is easily doubled. It could be as high as 1 million people in San Diego County now are food insecure. We're working hard every day just to make sure they can put food on the table.
Oh my gosh. I mean, those numbers are staggering, and so much food that you guys are having to prepare. Is that tough for you guys to do? Do you have the staff to do it?
I was asked to be the keynote speaker at a school of business for Alliant University about leading an organization through crisis. And the title of my speech was Build a Ship to Weather the Storm. So, we had built an organization based on excellence. It's kind of what you're supposed to do. Relationships with donors, relationship with the media, elected officials, hallmark programs, financials, all that. And so I was about 4 weeks into this. I'm like, we're doing really well. And it was kind of seamless. Had to get a lot more food out, but we had a lot of people and we had all those relationships with people that came to us, and we're raising just a crazy amount of money, but we're also spending a crazy amount of money. And a good example of that is prior to COVID, in a typical year, we would spend about $1 million in food purchases. By the end of this month, we'll hit $8 million in food purchases. And that's
my gosh. I can't even believe those numbers that you're saying. And thank goodness people are stepping up. And that's one thing the pandemic is doing, is it's bringing out the good in a lot of people. And how can people get involved and volunteer? Because I'm sure you could always use more help.
Well, a couple things. If people want to be part of the solution, I would tell them to go to SanDiegoFoodBank.org. We still need volunteers. We had to shift our volunteer program because actually volunteers are an integral part of our supply chain. What volunteers are doing today is going to be part of a distribution tomorrow, where all our groups cancel immediately. So we had to call out for individuals. and we had to cut our shift sizes in half because of social spacing and all that. We're exempt from the executive order, so anybody associated with us is exempt from the shelter in place mandate. So they can go on SanDiegoFoodBank.org and sign up to volunteer. Most of the shifts will probably look like they're full. Check back because we get cancellations and no-shows. And then, of course, I hate to say it, but the money reigns supreme, and we're raising a lot of money because we're spending a lot of money. So if people want to make a financial contribution, there's lots of ways on the website they can do that, but we can take $1 and leverage that into 5 meals. And our everybody all band together, stay calm, we'll weather the storm.
And if everybody donates $1, that adds up very quickly. What types of food items are needed most? And can people organize their own virtual food drives too?
Well, a couple things, and that's a great question, and thank you for that. So one, this money, this food we're buying in the wholesale food market, you would think $1 million goes pretty far. It really doesn't, right? You may get 600,000 pounds. I'm doing 5.5 million pounds a month. So our food drives kind of died down. So we got our big holiday food drive coming up, November and December. So we really need people to donate food. Because if we can raise 1 million or 2 million pounds of food, that will really help us reduce some of our costs. As far as people want to know what to donate, any non-perishable item is great, but people make fun of me because I'm obsessed with peanut butter.
It's a good food.
When people are lower income, have less means, protein tends to be out of reach because protein is more expensive.
Good point.
Any protein item is great. But peanut butter, high in protein, kids like it, too expensive for us to buy. So, we even have groups do peanut butter drives. So, give me some peanut butter. And then the easy way, the virtual food drive you mentioned, you can actually go online and you can buy food on our behalf. So every little bit helps. Everybody can make a difference.
All right, James, thank you so much. Good advice there. And you can do that not just in San Diego, but of course, all over the country. Food banks are having food drives as well. We really appreciate it.
Thanks very much.
All right, guys, a lot more ahead on Main Street Living. What do we have coming up next? Coming up, an app that'll help you run. Quincy, I think you're on mute, but stay with us. We'll talk about it. Welcome back to Main Street Living. Quincy, Danielle, I don't know what we did before smartphones, because today it seems like there's an app to help us with everything.
Yes,
I'm pretty helpless now without a phone.
Same.
I think we all are. And pardon the pun here, but our next guest ran into a problem and thought he'd come up with a solution. So what did he do? Right? He created an app for your smartphone device. Joining us today, CEO, founder of Charge Running, Matthew Knippen. Welcome to the show, Matthew.
Thanks so much for having me.
Hey, great to have you here. Now, like a lot of us, we all run into issues and we try to find these solutions. So tell us how you came up with the idea for the Charge Running.
Yeah, sure thing. So I had a buddy of mine, and we used to run together all the time. And then he moved across the country, and we both stopped running. We missed it. When you stop that cardio, it feels awful. So we were chatting over the phone and said, what would it be like if we could run together while not being together? And after chatting about it for 10, 15 minutes, I said, you know what, give me a weekend to think about it. So I made a little app just, for the two of us to see what it would be like. And if we open the app, I could see his distance and pace, he could see mine. And then we just had a phone call and it got us to start running again. And that's really where the idea started. He ended up becoming my co-founder of Charge Running.
Yeah, it sounds like a pretty creepy idea, man. I mean, you can see what the other person is doing. Are you kidding me? Don't let my wife get this. Now, your app has been featured by Apple, right? And it was called App of the Week. How does it exactly work?
Yeah. So we started with that idea and said, what would it be like if more people got involved? Mm-hmm. So really where we morphed that idea into was running classes. And this has become very popular nationwide. In fact, in the Chicagoland area, for example, there's over 15 different treadmill studios that you can go to. So we took that idea and brought it virtual. So we have 13 certified coaches on our platform, and we host 20 different live runs a day. So for example, if you click into a run, you could join the noon run and say, there'll be 30 other people running at the exact same time that you are. So your phone doesn't just show your stats anymore. It's a leaderboard of everyone running at the exact same time. And then there's a coach in your ear with headphones that talks to you and gives you ideas or ways to become a better runner.
Now, when you say there's a coach in our ear, now when we're working out in real time, that physically, sometimes we just don't talk to me, don't tell me anything else I want to hear. So I'm assuming these coaches aren't annoying. Is that right?
Well, yeah. So they're actually looking at your stats in real time, and they provide some motivation, but they also provide, good training aspects. So for example, they could say, "Hey, Cheryl, I see you're doing great, but I want you to know that Danielle is just ahead of you. Can you pass her?"
Nice.
Danielle's only job in the next 5 minutes is to not let Cheryl pass you up.
Well, see, and Cheryl is very competitive. Our viewers already know how she is. We know how she is, and Danielle is just as competitive. So that would be great. I would love to just eat popcorn and watch that happen.
It's quite entertaining.
You're right. Right. Now, our phones obviously provide us a great deal of data about our activities, pace, and steps. As a coach, personalizes that run, is the feedback is that the run has been better or that the exercise has been better because of that coach?
By far. So two things that are really important to hit here is one, the amount of stats that we're able to grab because of this phone. It allows us to get feedback that we couldn't even give you if we were in person. So for example, I can analyze and find out information about your stride, your step size. And when I combine that with the pace and current speed you're going, I can give you customized feedback. Yeah. So when you combine that with really our social aspect is what makes this very, very interesting. So with, the world that we're living in now, people are missing the gym, not just for the fact that they want exercise, but to be with other people in real time. We have a live chat room. So everyone who's going in that class communicates back and forth with each other. If they're going back and forth with another person, we actually send more chat messages through the app than miles ran.
Wow. Now, real quick, how can people contact you to get more information? And what does the cost of this app look like? And how can we get it?
Yeah, absolutely. So the best way is to go to chargerunning.com. It's $29.99 a month or $239.99 a year. And that translates into less than one group fitness class in person, gives you unlimited access to all of the classes for the entire month.
Okay. Great, man. Look, thank you very much for being a part of the show. Once again, Charge Running, the CEO and founder, Matthew Knippen, keeping things running and keeping the tech world together, man. We certainly appreciate you being with us today.
Thank you so much for having me. It was awesome.
Yes, sir. Wow. I could not wait to see if y'all, that would be great for me to watch y'all compete.
You know what I'm not surprised by though, is he said that more messages than miles run. So people just loving to run their mouth more than their legs, right?
That would be me, yes.
Cheryl would be talking smack the whole time. But if you are less of a runner and more of a let's take a walk in the park, then stick with us because next up we're talking about virtual trips to California parks. Welcome back into Main Street Living. Now, Cheryl and I were just talking about how much we really miss traveling. And Cheryl, you've been to a lot of national parks. Have you been to any in California?
Yes, Danielle, Quincy, I've been to so many national parks, and Yosemite in California is one of my favorites. And in fact, guys, each year students from across California would take field trips to one of the 280 state parks to learn about the area, animals, and monuments. But of course, this year, their virtual education program, Ports, has seen a rise in students from all over the U.S. as park interpreters take them on a reimagined field trip. Take a look at this.
Parks California is a statewide nonprofit partner to California State Parks. And what that means is we work across the entire state of California, all 280 state parks, And we work in partnership with the parks team.
Sports was started about 15 years ago as an opportunity for students to engage with California State Parks virtually through live interactive video conferences. And we built the program many, many years ago as a means to provide access and equity for California's K-12 students.
This is a replica of juvenile shark jaws. Oh my gosh, a juvenile shark jaw is bigger than my whole face.
1, 2, 3. Whoa, here we go. Okay, so this is our mammoth leg bone, our Colombian mammoth.
So I have the wonderful job of getting to connect with students from around California every single day virtually, either in their classrooms or now at home. And I get to teach about all of the wonderful things that we protect here at Anza Borrego.
Since March and the school disruption, we basically turned many of our programs into what we call home learning programs. That's a great program for homeschoolers or these pods that have popped up, or just families that are learning from home, or teachers that want to even maybe give an assignment for a virtual classroom.
So sometimes they can grow to be as wide as a 2-lane road and as tall as a 30-story building.
So all the kids want to know about the animals that we have here. You know, what kinds of snakes do we have? What kinds of fossils do we find? All types of things that, you know, they're eager to see if they were here in person. You know, they want me to be able to share that with them.
Each of these layers are going to pop off.
Ideally, when they come to visit, if they have a little bit of background about the park or the person that told them about the history or nature, that maybe there's also this connection with that place already. Learning happens faster and better because there's already this connection with that place thanks to these kind of highly engaging programs that we're putting out there.
Thank you all so much. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Stay cool, and hopefully maybe you'll come out and visit me one day. All right, bye.
Wow, that was a huge tree. I've never seen a tree that big.
Have you never seen a tree that big, Quincy?
Quincy, we got to get you out a little more. We got to get you going on some of these park trips with me. How about that?
I'll do it. Well, you know, I can tell you this, ladies, from parks in the Golden State to seeing new arrivals in the Copper State. We're staying out west for more excitement happening at the Arizona Zoo. So we'll be right back.
Welcome back into Main Street Living. Now, Cheryl, Quincy, I don't know about you guys, but something that definitely is comforting to me right now is animals.
Always. I've got my 4 cats, so yeah, I love them.
Yes,
yeah, don't rub it in, Cheryl.
Is always going to be comforted now. Actually, running a wildlife zoo can be a little challenging, especially during COVID. But as we all know, we all learn to adapt, of course. And the folks at Wildlife World Zoo in Arizona, they're doing just that. And here with us today, Christy Morcom. She's Director of Media Relations there at the zoo. She's here to tell us about the new baby arrivals and all that stuff there at the zoo, as well as their social distancing protocols. How are you doing there today, Christy?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me on your guys' show. And you're absolutely right. There's a lot that goes into running a wildlife animal park, especially during these really tough times. And we've had to change up a lot of what we're doing to ensure we're still able to connect with the public. We actually had to close down for a few months while everything was in full swing with COVID. And now we're open. We're excited to be welcoming the public back in. And with Arizona's largest exotic animal collection, we're always having new babies born, and we have so many new faces, along with our familiar faces, for people to come out and see.
Yeah, well, how did the zoo get its start?
That's a great question. So we actually just celebrated our 35th anniversary, and we're a privately owned zoo. We're owned by Mickey Olson, who started the zoo 35 years ago. And he was a school teacher for almost 20 years and retired from being a school teacher and started really small. Opened the zoo. Education is really important to him. So it's based on education and conservation. And because people could come out and see such a diverse collection, it's grown to what it is today with over 6,000 animals and 600 different species. So we're one of the top collections as far as diversity goes in the entire country.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. And I'm probably one of the biggest animal lovers you're ever going to come across. I mean, I save turtles when I see them trying to cross the road, and I do things like that. And I know a lot was going on when COVID hit. You guys were doing some renovations, and what new things can people look forward to seeing?
So when we did have to close down, we really wanted to take advantage of that time. And we were still working on exhibits, renovating exhibits. But I think our biggest attraction right now that people are coming out and they're just so excited to see is our safari park expansion. So it's a new 5-acre expansion. It actually opened up just a few weeks before we had to close our doors. So there were only a handful of people who were able to come out and experience it. And we have a lot of really exciting animals back there. I think the most exciting is going to be our critically endangered African pygmy hippos.
Ooh.
Yes.
That is interesting because I read in a British zoo, they had received 6 new parrots, right? And the parrots were removed from the public because they were using profanity, right? So, just to know that y'all can have that situation happen there, like, is there any new arrivals that have come that you guys are excited about?
That was such a funny story. We have so many new arrivals, and we have Grevy zebras, which are a very rare species. Normally when you see zebras in zoos, they're going to be your plains zebra, but our Grevy zebras are gorgeous, and they just had a baby. So not only do we have Grevy zebras, we have a baby Grevy zebra, and we have so many parrots throughout the zoo too, and they all love to talk and interact with the public. And sometimes, parrots are really intelligent. They have about the same intelligence as your average 2-year-old, so they can pick up those bad habits, especially when you have a lot of people coming into the zoo. And
Right.
I would be lying if I said we've never had that problem.
That is adorable. I think I need to get a parrot now. And so if people want to get involved, you guys are so funny. What kind of volunteer opportunities are there with the zoo?
So you have to be 18 or older to come out and volunteer, but it's so wonderful because our volunteers get to do so much of what our keeper and animal care team gets to do. And it's a wonderful way to connect with wildlife, get that hands-on experience, especially if you want to make a career out of working with wildlife. It's a great way to see what's available and get your foot in the door.
Thanks so much for that information, and thank you for what you guys are doing. We appreciate it.
Yeah, we've got all the information there on the screen, how you can find you, wildlifeworld.com. Thank you so much for joining us today. And I definitely have to check out the hippos and the parrots and all the fun stuff.
Definitely.
Quincy, oh my goodness. All right, we've got a lot more ahead on Main Street Living, and the countdown to Halloween is on. And our next story, Quincy, might give you pins and needles. Stick around.
Welcome back to Main Street Living, ladies. I know Halloween celebrations can be a little scary in different parts of the country. I don't even mess with it. I'll be honest.
No, this next story. Oh, talk about pins and needles.
Yes, you guys, what? I love spooky season, but
do
especially this time of year, something very spooky you could do is visit the New Orleans Historic Voodoo Museum. So we thought it might be time for us to revisit our guided tour with Madam Cinnamon Black. Take a look.
People come to New Orleans because New Orleans is one of the oldest cities in the world, and they come here for voodoo. My name is Madame Cinnamon Black. I'd like to welcome you to the Voodoo Museum, where people come here to find out about voodoo. So you think voodoo doll is real too, huh? Well, yeah. Well, we have voodoo dolls for you. Not like Chucky, but we have dolls that people possess. Voodoo dolls come from England, better known as the puppet doll. And it's a form of sticking a pin inside the doll to make the doll do something for you. But here in the city of New Orleans, we possess the dolls. The dolls are used to form a certain kind of magic. There are so many true things said about New Orleans, but the true stories about Marie Laveau, there are so many. This portrait shows a picture of Marie Laveau. She was a Creole, a devoted Catholic, and she was also a free woman of color. Some people call her saint, others call her a legend, but I call her the most powerful voodoo priestess known here in the city. The old chicken foot is used to fight off evil. They say you place this out in someone's home, own someone's car who take your parking space, or even in your business to fight away evil. Inside the museum, you'll notice there's a voodoo journey. That journey is where voodoo travels from Africa to the United States. This is often the same journey that's traveled by most hurricanes, from Africa to the United States. This particular display that we have here represents Saint Expedite. Saint Expedite is a spirit that stands at the gateway of the cemetery. He's better known as Baron Sambi or Papa Legba. There's a folktale story that's often told about Papa Legba having a top hat and tobacco. He likes rum and he likes vodka, so they say he dropped his sunglasses. Because of that, you will see he has one lens in to see the living and poof, one lens out to see the dead. This is one of the main altars that you would normally see inside the homes of Louisiana. They'll have a Bible. They'll have things that belong to their ancestors, and you'll normally see Catholic saints. Often when you ask the ancestors of a favor, you will go to the grave and pay them back by cleaning the grave, by wiping off the slate, by sitting down talking to Uncle Joe and maybe having a drink with him. Voodoo is in the city of New Orleans. Yes, it is. It's inside the food, the music, and the drinks. So if you come to our city and you have something to eat or drink, the voodoo's already got you. We're here located in the heart of the French Quarters at 724 Dumaine Street, New Orleans, Louisiana. My name is Madame Cinnamon Black. Thank you.
All right, that was a little creepy there. Quincy's obviously clearly freaked out. I guess don't take anybody else's parking spot, right? I mean, they could be doing a little voodoo.
Yeah. If Quincy does do that, then we know where we can get our voodoo dolls about him. If you guys want to find out more information, you can always check out voodoomuseum.com. Stick with us. We have more Main Street Living coming your way.
Welcome back to Main Street Living. If you are new to our show, I'm sure you saw today, we have a lot of variety. And one of the things that I thought was kind of interesting but creepy at the same time was the voodoo story. I mean, I'm a little superstitious, guys. I don't know. If I knew somebody had a voodoo doll of me and they were sticking pins and needles in there.
You're not superstitious, you're a little stitious.
Yes.
Right, not super.
Just a little.
Yeah. And I ruined one of our pillows.
What about
that
you
was
guys?
just the joke. That was a joke from The Office, and I just want to remind people that it's not going to be on Netflix for much longer. So just get it in while you can.
I love The Office. Oh man.
But yeah,
are you
superstitions.
Are you guys superstitious? Like, I know if I were to ever break a mirror, you know, they say 7 years of bad luck. Oh man, yes. I will never break a mirror, and I knock on wood all the time too.
Right.
Quincy, what about you? Yeah,
I do the same thing. I mean, I've broke multiple mirrors in my life, and maybe I've beaten the luck because I'm stuck with y'all. That's good luck. So
I don't know, Quincy. You got to knock on wood right now. I would knock on wood.
Well, so you guys know I started working for VSiN here in Las Vegas, which is a betting network, and there's all these like superstitions around betting. Like I guess you're not supposed to talk about it, or if someone jumps on your bet with you, it's a bad sign. And so I don't believe in any of that. I'm not subscribing to any of it. I don't believe it. I don't think if I tweet out what my bet is that it's going to make me lose my bet. That sounds insane to me. So
what about when it's your birthday and you know how you make a wish when you blow out the candles?
Yeah.
People say if you tell people your wish, it won't come true.
I don't know. I think I can go both ways. I mean, if you tell, I mean, it depends what the wish is. Now, if you wish it for somebody who's at the birthday party to be dead, then no. Then no. You don't.
No. We're a happy show, family show. Everybody's positive, everybody doing well and healthy.
You should try to add a little spooky in here. Just adding a little spooky in for Halloween season. And we have a lot more Halloween content and ideas on yourview.com if you want to check it out.
Absolutely. And don't forget to get out there and vote, people, okay? And speaking of voting and being on the move, you can also catch us on the go on our Cox Contour app as well.
That's right. You can see us anywhere, anytime. But if you want to catch new episodes of Main Street Living, make sure you join us on Mondays, 9 p.m. local time. And join us then as we will take our next walk down Main Street. And yes, please go vote.